Good evening, everyone. I am Judy Salamone, the Chairman of the Zoning Board of Appeals for the Town of Manlius. Tonight, we have 3 appeals to hear and decide whether to grant or deny the applicant's request for area variance, all based on the established zoning laws and regulations of the Town of Manlius. The meeting will come to order. Can we please all stand and face our flag for the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, I'd like to introduce our Zoning Board of Appeals members. We've got Tim Kelly, we've got KP Kelly, we've got our Secretary Deb Witzel, our Town Attorney Tim Frateschi.
Thank you.
Board Member Jim Campbell and Board Member Claire Miller. And over in the corner there, manning our video tonight is Allison Weber, our Town Clerk. I knew that. Did the board members review the minutes from the previous meeting? And we have a motion for approval of the minutes as written.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, the legal notices for this meeting have been published. May I request a motion to waive all the readings of these notices? First motion?
I'll make that motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, the first item on the agenda is Alan Naples of 11 Meadow Drive, Fayetteville. He's requesting a area variance for the addition of a mudroom and garage with an existing side yard setback of 13 feet that will need a variance of 7 feet to meet the required 20-foot side yard setback. Alan, would you like to come on up?
Well, since this is my first time, I'm not quite sure what you're looking for. I think, Doug Inman and contractors are doing the work. We had a large pool in the backyard that was actually infringed upon the setback by far more than the 7 feet. When we bought the house was built in 1950. The pool was put in probably 1960, somewhere around that time. It collapsed last January, so rather than replace it, we filled it in. And at that point in time, we decided to we have a 2-car garage, 2.5-car garage now. So we're going to shrink that down to 1-car garage, and on the inside, build an extension to the kitchen on the mudroom, basically the depth of the garage and 6 feet wide. And then on the left side of the current garage, as you face the house, there is an extension that was put on that housed all the pool equipment, the heater, the furnace, etc. That would be torn down, and then the new garage, 1-car garage, 14 feet, would be placed there. And it fits the same design frame as the house as you look at it at this point in time. I've reached out to all our neighbors, haven't heard from many of them, other than Salem LaHood, who's an architect himself. He wrote a letter on our behalf, and he looked at it, he had no issues with it whatsoever. So hopefully we've complied with everything that you need and you approve it.
Board members, do you have any questions? You answered the 5 questions, 5 required questions.
You're gonna end up with a single-car garage?
Single car, there'll be 2 single-car garages. The current garage, which is 2 cars, will be shrunk down to a 14-foot 1-car garage with the mudroom here. And then where the addition to the pool room is, that'll be taken off, and a 1-car garage there, which is just 14 feet wide.
So you're gonna still end up with 2-car
garage.
1-car garage.
All attached.
All attached. And the roof lines on the new garage will match the existing roof line. So if you look at the front of the house now, it's peaked like this.
Slopes.
And then on this side, it's sloped like this. So the new garage will be sloped like this on this other side, so it'll match up precisely. Again, an architect who's submitted all the paperwork.
And the closest to your lot line would be the back
Back left corner.
corner. Yeah.
It's one corner. I guess it goes over by 7 feet, but it's a small triangle of the corner. It's just the way that it sets back on it.
Yeah.
So your mudroom is already there? You just-
The mudroom is not
But
there.
you're making,
With the
garage
garage,
is
the
going to
mudroom
extend-
goes into
okay.
the space of the garage is.
gotcha,
So there's no addition for the mudroom, it just goes in,
where the
the garage
garage,
is being
Okay.
shrunk, the mudroom goes on, inside.
okay.
Yeah, no, I was over to talk to your wife.
All right, yeah, I understand, thank you.
And, yeah, I had a hard time trying to figure out where the 7-foot variance,
It's
but
just, it's that back
You
left,
said-
back
pointed out
You
the-
said that, you said that.
yeah, you pointed out
Yeah.
that stick you put in the ground.
Yeah,
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
Originally, I didn't think there was any issue whatsoever, I just forgot the angle when I measured it myself, until the architect, I guess that's why you use architects.
I'm all set.
Does anyone have yet any other questions? Seems pretty
Um,
straightforward,
yeah.
pretty,
We talked about it's gonna match the house.
Yeah.
Exactly,
uh,
Same siding,
Same
same roof,
siding,
everything.
same, so
same color,
we don't have a problem there.
okay.
The roofing is the same.
same,
Yeah,
there's windows in the garages, but there's current windows in the existing garage, and they'll just be moved over to, with new windows to the other garage.
is he gonna have a problem putting a foundation over that old pool?
No, the pool is filled in completely with 9 truckloads of stone and sand.
Oh, stone, okay.
So, yeah, that's all been taken care of.
Of course, the building department would have to take care of all that stuff.
And it actually doesn't even, again, it's just that left corner that will go over where the pool was, most of it's existing ground anyway.
Right. Yeah. I'm good.
Thank you.
House looks like it's in great shape, built in 1950, 51.
1950, yeah, no, since we've done a lot of work to it.
Yeah,
We actually have a bomb shelter in it as well.
do you really?
Yeah,
Wow.
it's great for wine storage, 55 degrees.
Alright.
Yeah.
Anybody else have any questions or? Okay, do I have a motion to close the public hearing?
I'll make the motion.
Second. Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so now we're just going to discuss amongst ourselves the 5 criteria questions to determine whether to grant or deny this request. So
Okay,
you can have a seat if you like.
okay, that's fine, thank you.
Okay. Did I forget something? Okay, so with the applicant, yeah.
I just wanted to say one thing, we do have an attendee in the room.
Oh, hi, Ellen.
So I don't know which application for, I wanted to, let attendees know that if they wanted to comment on a public hearing, they could use the question and answer function. And we would be able to read that, or if they didn't want to speak, they could raise their hand, and then I would move them into the meeting so they can speak.
Okay,
She's for the 4th agenda item.
Okay, good enough.
okay, so the 5 criteria questions. Number 1, whether the benefits sought by the applicant can be achieved by some other feasible method. You think it can be?
No, I think what they're doing is, is reasonable and basically they keep the same architectural
Slope
lines.
and everything,
What they're doing makes sense.
okay. Whether it's an yes, go ahead.
I would just say I agree with him on that.
Whether it's an undesirable change would be produced in character of neighborhood or a detriment to nearby properties.
No, that's good.
The closest property seems to be, the adjacent property seems to be significantly away
Yeah,
from
away
this,
from
so I
it,
don't
yeah.
see any.
Whether the requested variance is substantial.
Yeah.
Number 4, whether the variance will have an adverse effect on physical or environmental conditions,
No.
No,
No,
and whether the alleged difficulty was self-created.
Yes,
Sure.
but it was based on the failure of the pool, so.
Yeah, I think in the context, first of all, the answer to that question is not dispositive to any of the other questions. It's one of the things you need to balance with the other 4 questions. So a 1 yes doesn't make all of them yeses or
Right.
do anything to the rest of the question. So while it might be self-created, the impacts on the neighborhoods are going to be, on the neighbors are going to be very small. And in fact, this is less intrusive than what the pool was when
Right.
that was in existence.
Mhm, mhm. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Based on our discussion, it appears that there's no impact on the environment. Therefore, I propose a type 2 action with C-Corp and no further review is required. Okay. And based on our discussions, would a board member like to make a motion to grant or deny the applicant the request for this variance?
Yeah, I'll make.
Thank you, KP.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that the zoning board grant an area variance to Mr. and Mrs. Naples with property at 11, what is it?
Meadow Drive.
Meadow Drive in Fayetteville. The variance is being granted for the purpose of permitting the construction of a garage, a one-car garage. The the variance will be granted, the sideline setback is supposed to be 20 feet. The applicant is requesting a 7-foot variance having 13 feet. And this retains to the rear corner of the project. As far as conditions, it's going to match the existing house in siding, in roofing, in architectural. So that's my motion.
Do I have a
I
second?
will second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? You're granted your mudroom and garage.
So, what's the process in terms of the permit?
Lisa usually mails them out to you.
Okay.
I'll give her the approval tomorrow.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night. Good night.
Thank you. Take
You're
care.
Good night.
Okay. Second on the agenda is a Ralph and Donna Whedon of Poolsbrook Road, Kirkville. Public hearing for 2 area variances for a 34 by 48 pole barn with an existing rear setback of 20 feet. They will need a variance of 20 feet to meet the required 40-foot rear yard setback. With the maximum code height being 17 feet, they're requesting a variance of 3 feet, bringing the total height to 20 feet. Mr. Whedon? Mr. Whedon, would you like to come on up here?
We bought a piece of property across the street 2 years ago. And I'd like to build a pole barn on it to store our motor home and lawnmowers and stuff like that. I want to put a 12-foot overhead doors in that tenant. In order to do that, I have to have a peak height of 14 feet to the top, peak height of 20 feet. It's the location of the pole barn is back in the end of the property. There's no houses right nearby. It's like obstructing anything. Behind the pole barn is vacant land. I believe Conrail owns. So that goes for the peak height. As far as the setback, I realize that the back line setback is a minimum of 40 feet. Well, there's nothing behind the property, and in order to have the pole barn set on the property the way I'd like it to match the existing driveway, I'd like to do the 20-foot offset and go with the 40-foot offset.
Anyone have any questions for Mr. Whedon? Open the public hearing, make a motion. Can I hear a motion to open the public hearing? Second,
Awesome.
all in favor?
Aye.
So, any questions for Mr. Whedon?
Do you have an address for the lots?
Address of the lot,
Yes.
I do, I don't think I have it.
No, there's, OnGov doesn't have an address because it's a vacant land. You just go by the tax map number.
All right, and we're okay with,
Yes,
that's what we're
it
referring to.
identifies it.
Okay, okay, yeah, thank you. Yeah,
What's the color of this pole barn? It's going to be,
It's gonna be a two-tone brown, a dark brown wainscoting on the bottom 4 feet, the upper, and the roof will be the dark brown, the sidewalls will be the lighter brown, the dark brown trim.
What's it gonna be made out of?
Pardon me?
What's it gonna, the siding gonna be? Is it gonna be metal?
Metal.
Yeah,
Metal roof and metal trim. Siding, all metal.
it'll be electrified, you want to have electricity in the barn?
Possibly in the future. Now it's, I don't plan on putting electric right now. I have electric bed. It's not my.
How about the floor, concrete or dirt?
It'll be concrete.
Concrete? So it'll be substantial if you're putting in a slab, it's,
The concrete will be substantial pour, yeah.
yeah, I mean, that's, if you're gonna go to concrete, then you're, it's quite expensive.
For right now, I've got a, hold 4 or 5 loads of running crushing for the pad to build it on, and it's gonna be, for now, it's just gonna be the running crush stone floor. And in the future, maybe this fall or next spring sometime, I'd like to work the floor.
Yes. Okay, garage door facing the street,
Yes,
windows,
there'll be 4 windows in it, yes,
um,
1 man door in the front.
service door, one service door, one overhead door,
There'll be 2 12-foot high overhead doors.
two, okay,
One, service door.
service door, yeah, yeah. Any
Those
complaints?
12-foot doors are side by side.
Pardon me?
Are those 12-foot doors are side by side?
Any, anything from the neighbors? Everybody okay with it?
They all told me that they received the notification and they were all happy with it. So I have,
You don't want to borrow space?
I was gonna say,
they wanted,
you might want to rent out some space from you.
yeah.
Did you say you're going to eventually build your house on that lot too?
We live across the street. We have a fairly good sized colonial house. It's just my wife and myself. And I told her, gee, maybe another couple of years, since this house is so big, we'll build, or I will build somebody a smaller ranch house in this lot and sell our food. And it took her no time to say, no way, I'm leaving this house. Everything that I've, all the gardening I've done, all the flowers and the trees. And all this.
So that conversation is
So it doesn't
okay.
sound like.
But then when she sees the pole barn, she might want to go next to the pole barn.
I'll have you go talk.
Okay.
Or have you lived in the full barn?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I might end up there.
Okay, anybody else?
Motorhomes in there, at least have a comfortable bed. Correct?
What's that?
I said with the motorhomes in there, you'll have a comfortable bed anyways.
Oh, yeah.
So may I have a motion to close the public hearing?
I'll make that motion.
I'll make a
Second.
motion. Or I'll second it, I'm sorry.
Okay, all in favor?
Right.
Okay, you can have a seat. We're just going to discuss this amongst ourselves.
There was another person in there.
Oh.
Just showed up, so.
Okay.
Yes, so for any virtual attendees, if you would like to participate in the public hearing, you just use the Q&A function to write your question, or you raise your hand, and we will let you speak.
Okay, 5 criteria questions. Whether the benefits sought by the applicant can be achieved by some other feasible method.
Well, I don't think there's any problem where it's going to be put. 'cause
No.
You could put any place in there.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it makes the most sense. We want to.
I think he mentioned something about the driveway and matching up with the driveway.
Yeah,
That's
it's a driveway.
The heights can be a factor.
Color's fine.
So are we doing two variances?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, we're doing a height variance
Height variance
Yeah,
of
maybe.
3 feet and then 20 on the rear setback.
and a 20 on the rear setback.
So I think we should maybe take them
One at a time?
one at a time, just so we
Okay.
know which, but I think the answers all of them will probably be the same,
Okay.
but,
So we'll start with the variance of 20 feet to the required 40-yard setback. So the first one, we're okay with that, right? Number two, whether undesirable change would be produced in character of neighborhood or a detriment to nearby properties.
No,
Three, whether the requested variance is substantial.
again, I don't think
Not
so.
for the area.
No.
in the context of the property in the area.
I mean, it's a rural area. Yeah,
Number four, whether the variance will have an adverse effect on physical or environmental conditions.
no.
No.
Actually, that's, if I remember, it's gonna kind of sit up on a little hill back.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think the two-tone will look nice too.
Yeah.
And whether the alleged difficulty was self-created.
Yes.
Sure.
So with this second variance, we're requesting a variance of 3 feet, bringing the total height to 20. Number one, whether the benefits sought by the applicant can be achieved by some other feasible method.
No. No,
She wants it tall enough for the mirror,
yes,
so that probably
Makes
sense.
Yeah, and they're about 11 and a half feet tall, so you need that extra space.
so they get,
Plus-
that's a 12-foot garage.
For 12-foot doors, you need
Plus
that extra.
antennas or. Air conditioning.
Well, he's going, the inside would be,
Not for the peaks.
14 feet, 12 foot plus the headers and so on. So that'd be 14 feet. And then the truss is a little over 5.5 feet. So you add that all up. Yeah, he's okay height-wise, if you do the math. And so, I mean, it's okay. It's not, what would you say? It's appropriate. It's not outrageous as far as the pitch goes or anything else. So, I wouldn't want it any less than that, you know, for the runoff and snow loads and all that stuff. So I think it's, that variance is reasonable.
Yes.
Number two, whether an undesirable change would be produced in character of neighborhood or a detriment to nearby properties.
No.
Number three, whether the requested variance is substantial.
No.
No,
Number four, whether the variance will have an adverse effect on physical or environmental conditions,
no,
and whether the alleged difficulty was self-created.
Yes.
yes.
Okay. So based on our discussion, it appears that there is no impact on the environment. Therefore, I propose a type 2 action with C-Corp and no further review is required. And based on our discussions, would a board member like to make a motion to grant or deny the applicant the request for this variance?
I can.
You want to start with the 20-foot?
Sure. Mr. Chairman, I move that the zoning board of appeals grant an area variance to Ralph M. and Donna J. Whedon for the real property located at tax map number 058.-02-6.1 in Kirkville, New York, 13082. This variance is being granted for the specific purpose of permitting the construction of a 34 by 48-foot pole barn, thereby modifying the 40-foot rear line setback to that of 20 feet, leaving a variance of 20 feet. In addition, modifying the 17 maximum code height to that of 20 feet, leaving a variance of 3 feet.
Yeah.
I will second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? You're all set, Mr. Reed.
Okay, thanks very much.
Have a good night. Our third item on the agenda, and we have Ellen O'Connor on, is the construction or public hearing for an area variance for a 30 by 15 garage with an existing front yard setback of 30 feet. They will need a variance of 10 feet to meet the required 40-foot front yard setback.
Ellen, the applicant, I don't see them.
Ellen and
Ellen and Patrick.
Patrick O'Connor.
Oh. And who's here?
They're gonna be up there. 1 second, they'll rejoin the meeting.
They're gonna join us?
Pete was gonna be the, I think I represented.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the people from the light, Syracuse Lightscapes, I think was supposed to.
Okay,
Good evening, I'm here.
all right, oh, so
Where's Pete?
we have a little bit of a technical failure because you are not coming through the projector. Hold on 1 second, okay?
Who's this guy? That's Pete.
Yes, I'm here. Good evening.
Yeah, you can go ahead. Pete can talk because I just
Why,
wasn't
sure.
sure if you were there. So Pete's going to take over.
Boy, I got to fill some big shoes here. Good evening, everyone. I represent Syracuse Lightscapes and Syracuse Construction. We're working with the O'Connors to.
Hold on 1 second, Pete. They can't hear you yet.
Okay.
Are you guys all set?
Can you hear me now?
Hear you, yes. Can you hear us?
Okay, very good. I sure can. Thank you. Well, good evening. I'm working with the O'Connors, Syracuse Lightscapes and Syracuse Construction. We're doing some a pool house and a little covered pavilion in their backyard. We have submitted all the blueprints and we were told that there was an issue that we needed a 40-foot minimum setback. Although we have the survey dated May 24th, 2006, had a build line drawn at 30 feet all the way around. So we assumed that that was it, and we worked off those specifics. And then there'll be an open pavilion. It'll be with clapboard siding. There'll be stone veneer on the sides. Very consistent, actually kind of enhanced, we'd like to think, the neighborhood. The only thing that we're really concerned about, we have an issue with, obviously, is the 40 versus the 30-foot setback that we have drawn.
Pete, are you talking about a garage or the pool?
It's a combination. It's a garage, and then next to the garage is a covered pavilion. And you will see that there's a fireplace that's underneath the covered pavilion. It is all one structure.
It's more of a garage than anything.
Gotcha.
If looking at the drawings, which I did when I was there. Yeah. If basically, well, you have to open the public hearing.
Do I have a motion to open the public hearing? Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Uh,
Okay. So, KP, did you have a question or were you gonna?
No, what I realized there is, you see the arrow that goes into that addition or into that, and it says 48 feet from the front lot line? Everybody see that?
Yeah.
All right. Right there, they're gonna have a garage door.
Okay. Yeah.
So it becomes like a one-car garage. And then as you face that garage door to the left is actually, they're gonna bring a roof area over, and that'll be like a patio area.
Pavilion type of thing. It says patio.
Yes.
Patio,
Covered
right?
pavilion, yes. That's correct.
I get it.
So, and what's the back of the garage?
Uh,
There's a,
The back of the garage is going to have It's going to hold some utility work for there'll be an electrical panel in there for service for that. And there's going to be, as you can see, that there's a bathroom there. So there's going to be a pump for the septic, the sanitary system that runs through. And behind the garage, there's an open area where there's going to be the pool utilities.
You see the dotted lines off to the right of that garage, that
Yes.
building?
Uh-huh.
Well, that's an existing driveway that's gonna be done away with. That'll all
This
be
is like a
grass.
horseshoe driveway. now,
Yeah.
so.
That's correct.
So that driveway
We'll be gone.
will be,
The left
will
side
be
of
all grass when they get through with it.
Yes.
And so is there any windows in that side that's gonna face Mintwood?
You
Yes.
have to look, I believe so, yes. And
Yes.
you can see where they're located on the blueprints, yes.
I was over on the site and one of your foremans let me look at the plans, but, you know, I was only there a few minutes, so.
Yeah, so the side that faces the road will have the same stonework that we have in the front of our house, and it will have a window.
Correct.
Everything's gonna match.
All match.
Yes.
And the roof pitch will be pitched towards that side?
That's correct. That's correct.
And the color of the roof will match the house? As close
And
as-
there'll be a dormer that accommodates,
Hello?
I'm sorry, you skipped on me. The roof is going, the profile is similar to that of the existing structure.
Okay. Everybody clear what's going on there?
Yes.
I was a little confused when I went up there, but
That clarified it for me.
yeah. I got to talk to the foreman and that helped.
Okay. Anybody else have any other questions? Okay. Over the 5 criteria questions? Oh, motion to close the public hearing.
I'll make the motion.
And second it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. So, question number 1, whether the benefit sought by the applicant can be achieved by some other feasible method.
Well, they could have moved it, you know,
A little bit.
moved it in, but I don't know, another 10 feet would be right on top of the existing house. Is there a breezeway between the house and patio? Sir,
Yes.
Yes, there is. Yes, there is.
attached to the house, not separate from the house. Hello? Hello?
Frozen.
Oh, you froze on me again.
Yeah. So this garage patio thing is going to be attached to the house.
Sorry for the,
Yeah, I think so.
I think the
It's
bridge, I think
separate.
the breezeway is
The breezeway.
the way I understand
He's
it.
still alive, but I think it might be a connection on his end.
Okay.
I'm back again. Yeah, I can hear you now. I'm sorry.
Yeah, the breezeway is, they were just asking if the breezeway was connected, the two structures.
Yes, indeed, it does.
Yes.
Whether, number 2, whether an undesirable change would be produced in character of neighborhood or a detriment to nearby properties.
No, not.
No, if they do it as they say or promise to do with the side of that looking like the front of the existing
Yeah,
house,
it's gonna
then
look nice.
it should be nice.
The
Yeah,
stonework is
Correct.
very beautiful.
Yeah. it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Number 3, whether the requested variance is substantial.
No,
Number 4, whether the variance will have an adverse effect on physical or environmental conditions.
No.
And whether the alleged difficulty was self-created?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Based on our discussion, it appears that there is no impact on the environment. Therefore, I propose a type 2 action with Secor and no further review is required. And based on our discussions, would a board member like to make a motion to grant or deny the applicant the request for this variance?
Sure. Tell me what-
Go ahead.
You want
Okay, I'll do it.
Go ahead.
Madam Chairman, I move that the zoning board of appeals grant an area variance to Ellen and Patrick O'Connor for the real property located at 7211 Midwood Lane, Fayetteville, New York, 13066. This variance is being granted for the specific purpose of permitting the construction of a 30 by 15-foot garage, thereby modifying the 40-foot front yard setback to that of 30 feet, leaving a variance of 10 feet.
And that's on the Metwood
Yes.
house,
Yes.
as opposed to the front of the, because it's a corner lot, they got two fronts.
It's not the front. No,
So
I'll
we use the application address.
I'll second your motion.
Mr. Attorney, is that,
Yeah, that's fine. 7211 Mint Wood is the address, but the front entrance actually looks like it fronts on Reese Ave,
right?
right?
Yes.
But your motion is fine.
Good.
I have a second.
Second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. You're all set, Mrs. O'Connor.
Thank you very much for your time. We really appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. And thank you, Pete.
Yeah, we'll talk, Alan. Have a
Okay.
good night. Thank you.
You too. Thank you. Thank you, board. Thanks, Claire.
That's correct.
Okay.
Because that would have been a side yard.
Yeah, that would have been a side yard, which is 20 feet.
Do we have any other business to discuss?
Thank you for sending out these letters to us.
Yes.
That's helpful just to see them. And-
Well, yeah, I wanted you to see what they look like.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I think we need to make a motion that Tim needs to shave the next time.
Just trying to look grown up.
It's working.
Do I hear I have a motion, do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I've got one quick question.
Okay.
Just for update, do we have a codes officer?
No.
At the moment, we're still,
We have a part-time
okay.
and Doug Miller is filling in doing
Doug,
some.
okay, I was just trying to clarify my knowledge of that, so, okay.
Doug Miller, the engineer.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Okay.
I will not be at the July meeting, I'll be on vacation, so Tim is going to run the meeting.
I'll shave.
Do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Meeting's adjourned.